Happy Valentine's Day. This is gonna be a quick one. I hate PioBore. Just hate it. The characters, the story, the main heroine, I hate it all. It's as pleasing to me as the word moist is to the general public. Which is to say, not very pleasing. It's a story about an orphan church girl who gets kidnapped by one of several mafias and then gets held hostage until they die or fall in love. That's it. Sometimes the mafiosos are nice, sometimes they're a-holes, but mostly it doesn't matter because all you are doing is waiting for something fun to happen. And if you expect our lovely heroine to do anything, don't! Her key characteristics are piety, baking, and not knowing that she's the prettiest thing in the city. The other characters aren't better. In one route, the cop is hell-bent on rescuing you from the evil gangsters to the point he tries to kill you when he learns you've fallen in love with one because justice. But in all the other routes, he doesn't care. He's a little hot-headed about crime, but does his job well and doesn't really respond to the fact that you've been kidnapped by any other gangsters. Somehow, despite your devotion to it, the church is always against you, even if that means siding with a drug lord, human trafficking, unquestionable murderer. And Dante? Oh, Dante. There is an art to making a bad end in an otome game. You can't just slap a gunshot and a death and call it a day. You have to really let the character stew in their failure, but in a cathartic way. A good bad end should leave me wanting to get the good end while also giving me a peek at an alternate universe that makes me more interested in the story as a whole. Nicola's bad end? Fine. Yang's bad end? Predictable, but totally understandable. Orlok's bad end? What the frick did I do to deserve this? This being constantly raped by the guy who supposedly was destined for me and held against my will while the guy I love is tortured in a dungeon in the basement. Also, when I visit him once, Dante decides to break my legs, so I can't leave bed ever again. Not only does this ending feel disgusting and wrong, but it also commits the cardinal sin of otome bad ends. It made me hate Dante so much that I couldn't play his route without constantly feeling like I was going to throw up. How am I supposed to fall in love with a guy I know would do that? At least with Yang, it's the label on the tin, bad guy, do not open. But for Dante, he acts like such an above-it-all gentleman, like he's too good to stoop so low like those other awful mafiosos, but in the end he's just as depraved, if not more so. It says something about your game when the aforementioned drug lord, human trafficking, unquestionable murderer is the best love interest for your pure religious main heroine than the guy on the box art. The other love interests are just fine, the secret route is very meh, and the entirety of the game left a bad taste in my mouth. But the problem really lies in the genre, because PioBore is just made of things I was always going to hate. I hate overly religious characters. I'm not a fan of gangsters or any old-timey mafia settings. I hate main heroines that are prized on their kindness and beauty over anything of substance. I just hate the core of what they were using when they made this game, so it is no surprise to me that I hate the game itself. The art is great, the CGs are fun, and the music isn't bad at all, so production-wise, this game is great and worth a look at. It has style and is competently written. But if you want a real opinion on whether you should buy this game or not, I'm not your girl. You might love all these characters and the mafia feel. You might be incredibly titillated by the endings, and you probably would see more good in the main heroine than I was even willing to. PioBore just is not for me. Thank you for listening to whatever this is. If you would like to see more well thought out content, subscribe! And I will see you in the next otome video. Bye-bye!